the reverbs. They will just be accentuated.
Accentuated.
They will just be like accentuated.
Accentuated.
Hey everybody, it's me, Janus Rasmussen here. This is day number 21 out of my calendar series. It's the shortest day of the year already. Man, we're just going the other direction now, which is good. It's pretty dark here right now. It's also my editor's and videographer's birthday. Tom, wishing him a birthday in the chat. Have some to chat, everybody.
Woo! Yeah!
That's how you use it, right? Today I want to talk about how I use reverbs in my productions. Yeah, just a quick little list. The first thing I want to talk about is how to use pre-delay, or how to set in the pre-delay on your reverbs. And I've already made a video about it. I think it was the first video on this channel. There's a link in the description or a card right there, wherever it is. And check it out. It's just you go into a website, or you can also use any kind of reverb calculator to do it. Put in the BPM of the song, and then it will spit out the setting or the milliseconds for the pre-delay. Highly recommend it if you want your reverbs to really sit in the mix, just really in time with the whole thing. Let's just move on to the next one. There's one thing I see a lot in mixes is that people don't EQ their reverbs. This is something I highly recommend doing, especially like if you're using a send and sending a lot out to a reverb. Use EQ before and after, or whatever really works, and EQ maybe some lows out of the reverb. If the lows are just building up and bringing a lot of rumble into the mix, you can just use a low cut and just low cut however much you need to do. Also with high cut, sometimes with vocals, especially S's and stuff like that, if the reverbs are super bright, they're just gonna go ring into those reverbs, and you will just get a lot of sibilance, in the reverbs. They will just be like accentuated. You don't want that. So definitely, here we can see, this is my song Blowth. It was the single of mine, and here's really interesting what I did. I had a reverb here. It's the EMT 250. And afterwards, I have a EQ doing this, and what it's doing is there's one pad in the ending of the song. So that's the end of the song. And the end of the song, I see that I'm writing the Juno pad into this send here. And on the send, I'm EQing out this region because this pad was getting really heavy on this region. I don't know, let's hear it again. It's a little bit too, EQing that down, problem solved. So this is also a way you can do it. Sometimes actually just taking that resonance wherever it is and just take it a little bit down. I do it a lot with vocals, especially if there's one note that's just too much in the reverb. I literally just take and EQ that note down in the reverb as well. EQ your reverbs. So the third one I want to talk about is the use of reverb. Like I see a lot of people want to, if they want a sound to go further or deeper into a mix, they will just put a reverb on it and put a long reverb tail or whatever, just to get it sounding more in the distance. But a lot of times I feel like it's an ineffective way to do it, basically. There are lots of other better ways to do it. You can just maybe put the volume down of the sound, or you can shave some highs of the sound. That's automatically going to put it a little bit more into the background, because, when you lose some highs, it sounds like something is further away. Then also, I would recommend using a room reverb instead of like actual a tail. So a room reverb is more just like something 200, 300, even less, a super short reverb, just to put something into a space. So let's take the drums from this song, for example, and take the reverb suite here. This one has a lot of really nice room reverbs. Let's go into the drums. So here we have one called Drum Depth. So I'm just gonna mix in a tiny bit, okay? There's kicking in too much. Went over 22. This plugin, anything over 22, it goes BAM! It's pretty ridiculous. Okay, one more time. Do you hear that difference? Very subtle, but all of a sudden it's kind of in a room. Now I could also go in here and put the pre-delay even more perfect for the song. Then we'll be laughing, like my friend says.
Who's your friend?
Cheeky. So the next one I want to talk about is putting a reverb directly on a channel. So there's a reason why this might be a bad idea or not always something you want to go for. For example, here I put them on the drums, and the knob on this plugin only has a dry wet knob. And when you mix in the wetness, you're actually using volume from the dry side. So your mix is actually getting a little bit out of balance. So if you already leveled your song, it might be a better option to make a send, which is 100% mix, and just send some signal into the send instead of doing it with the dry wet. Because, like I said, you lose the balance. Also in Ableton, you can also just make a group like this, open it up, and on this group, you make it 100% wet, and then create a chain like somebody told me to do in the comments. Thank you for that suggestion, by the way. Now you can just mix the wet signal into the dry wet, and now your balance is not off whack. Now, just a quick last one for you. A fun little trick here. I love to bounce down some longer reverb tails. So say if you want to make a breakdown, see this part of the song here. Yeah, for example, this part. Take the drums, listen to them. We can maybe make another channel. And on this drums here, let's put a reverb. Let's make it absolutely huge. I don't know, something like that will do. It's just a demonstration. On this one, we can do a resample, and then we can just record this tail. Maybe just the end of it. Whoa. Make it a little bit shorter. That's cool. Let's record it. Now I can go and reverse this reverb tail that I made. Now it's like a transition. Yeah, how cool is that? So I love to do this with any effect, actually, just recording them down 100% wet with a tail, and now you just, it's its own sample, and you could even do like a, edit in here and do something weird. I don't know. It's your audio, and you could even do even crazier stuff, duplicate, do something absolutely crazy like this. This is why I really love to record my audio down sometimes. You can get really creative with how you use it. I'm not saying this is going to sound great, but you get the idea. It's just a really creative way where you just use the stuff you already have in the song and just make a tail like this and then make a huge sweep out of it. Super effective. All right, that's all for today. If you like the content that I'm making, please remember to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you like the content that I'm making. And then I think it's time for me to say toodaloo, see you again tomorrow for episode 22.
Happy birthday to
Oh
me.
yeah.